ArenaNet shows the stats, so sweet, sweet lovin'. I'm Burden.
And I'm serious.
And this is your GW2 Daily. Hello, Addict Gamers. Welcome to your Guild Wars 2 Daily for October 18th. We're going to be talking about the staff changes for the Elementalist today. Make sure you guys are leaving your comments in the comment section below on what we have to say and also what you think how you think the changes went for the Elementalist. As always, I'm going to put the link to the forum post talking, well, not really talking about it, just saying what the changes were, the patch changes. So that way you can see all of them, because we're not going to talk about all of them, but just some of the more important ones. Alright, so let me read through some of the more important ones that I think they put in, and then I'll get your opinions, Aris. So they changed Geyser. Geyser is your heal, your number 3 in water, and they increased the radius to 180, and they also increased the radius to 240 when you have the Blasting Staff trait. Now the Blasting Staff trait is the trait that makes your attacks with your staff larger. So the Geyser attack radius is actually quite big now. They also changed Water Blast, and that is your auto attack on in your water attunement. And what that is when it hits a target, it actually does like an AoE heal around the target that you hit. And what they did is they increased the healing stat scaling from 10% to 25%, and they decreased the base heal at low levels, but when you get to level 80 it'll be the same. And they increased the base radius to 180. And there's a dog barking.
Yes, there is.
Another big change was to unsteady grounds. Now this used to cripple people who would run through it, but now it acts more of like a wall that a guardian has, where it's actually impassable, so people have to actually run around it. It's good for blocking up choke points and things like that in World vs. World. They also changed Fireball. They increased the base radius to 120 and the radius to 180 when you have the Blasting Staff trait. So that means you're going to be doing a little more AoE damage with your Fireball. And Meteor Shower, also they increased the impact to 180. So your Meteor Shower is actually, each meteor is actually going to be hitting more people. So that's a good one. And they changed some of the glyphs. The glyph of renewals now are actually ground targeted, so you can't just cast it and resurrect your allies, but you actually have to ground target it onto people, which actually makes the glyph of renewal, where it resurrects multiple people. I think it was water that did multiple people. That'll actually be less effective unless you have 3 people who die in the same spot. The Glyph of Storms also got a tiny bit of a nerf, but it's actually more of a correction than anything. And they did some changes to the Conjured weapons, but I'm not going to go too much into detail on those, because we're actually going to make a separate Guild Wars 2 Daily for the Conjured weapons, because we have pretty strong opinions about those. Anyway, those are some of the bigger changes to the staff for the Elementalist. Saris, what's your overall opinion after having a look and a feel for all the staff changes for the LE?
For me, my favourite parts I'd have to say are the changes just to the staff AoE sizes. They've made them so much bigger. It's huge. It's awesome. It's a bit ridiculous even. You just see the size of them. You can keep pretty much everything inside that. No way you're gonna get out of that. Craziness.
The Geyser especially, because the Geyser before was so tiny.
Yep. You'll be able to land them, get some good heals in. You'll definitely get your 5 target cap when fighting mobs and anywhere or people. As long as there is enough in the area, of course.
But not only did they help the support of the staff, they actually helped the attack of the staff as well through some of the fire changes.
Just increasing the size of meteor storms change means that you'll actually be able to land more of the meteors on your target. And it might not seem like much, but there's about 20 meteors, individual meteors inside the meteor storm. which each one of them is doing a huge amount of damage. It's like landing. Each one is almost worth an ice spike in damage, which is crazy. If you're landing at least 6 or 7 of those on someone, it's for the short duration of the cast. It's fantastic, especially if you're fighting larger mobs. You'll be able to land even more hits now, making it a very, very powerful spell. You've got the improvements to Lava Font as well, meaning that you'll be able to keep it up longer because of the change to Persisting Flames, which is one of the traits I'd like to talk about. They changed Persisting Flames to give an extra 2 seconds of duration now to all your fire fields, which means that instead of 5 ticks that you would normally get with Lava Font, you get 6. And you can also, it's a lot easier to combo with Earth as well, with the blast finisher, so you can rotate in between them continuously, getting blast finishes in fire fields to stack some might. It's a fantastic change. You've got an increased time on your Burning Retreat, which you can use offensively if the enemy is tucked up against the wall, because when you dodge roll into it using Burning Retreat, it stacks up all the little bits of fire at the same place, and they're all ticking for damage as well. So you can get some nice damage out of it. It was a very good change.
And they also increase distance on Burning Retreat, right? So it's actually more efficient at being an evasion skill.
Yep. They increased it. It's actually more than how far you run back now. It kind of spreads out the fields a bit. You can actually see the little gaps in between. It does make it easier to count how many actual fire fields it's placing down.
Oh, yeah. I just did it now on my character. I never noticed that before.
When I first took a look at it, I saw like, because it angled wrong once. Then I saw it was going on an angle, and it did it a couple of times, which led me to think, oh, if I do this against a wall, maybe it's still going to hit all of these at the same time. And you said this. And then after I found out about the Fiery Greatsword, how you could lightning flash with Rush, you could also do that with Burning Retreat as well, which is cool. It's a nice little trick, except for when the enemy's got retaliation.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
Now the one of the things that I've always preferred Dagger, and one of the things that has kept me away from the staff is the fact that I take this build out into World vs. World as well. And I mean, I think we could both agree now that in PvE, the staff's going to be extremely strong when you're doing a dungeon or you're doing just some random PvE stuff. But I think you start still running into some problems when you're going into World vs. World or even SVP with the staff. If you're trying to go, I guess, if you're trying to go more offensive is my point. Because if you're gonna go for like Persisting Flames, which is 30 and fire, that's a lot of defense that you're giving up that you would take in a more standard like SPVP build or a build that goes out into World vs. World in like smaller groups. But I mean, the stuff I think will be amazing in Zergs. Just when you're more in like a chaos kind of squad, like fighting smaller groups, it might not be nearly as strong.
It could, but you need there's strength in numbers with it. So the more of them you've got together, the more powerful they'll become, because you'll be able to stack your CCs and all your ground targets into the same place. And if you actually get coordinated enough, you're able to do some good chokes, especially with the change to the unsteady ground, because now you actually have a ward on the ground that will prevent them from crossing it, which you can use in combination with your static fields and whatnot to get some good kill zones set up and start nailing people. But in the open field, it's a bit different. That's not the place where you want to be caught with it.
Okay, let's talk.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was finished. Just finished.
Okay. Well, I wanted to touch on the Conjured weapons. Like I said, we're gonna do a full Guild Wars 2 Daily on Conjured weapons, but they did try to improve the Conjured weapons. But I don't think the problem with the Conjured weapons is exactly the skills within the Conjured weapons, although they did fix some of the things and they made some pretty nice changes. Again, I'll leave the link in the description so you can see all the changes they made. But they're just really, for me, there's no incentive of picking a conjured weapon over another utility. I could. Probably the only exception I make is when I'm in like a fractal or a dungeon and I need the ice bow to shoot structures with the AOE. But other than that, I just really don't feel like I should drop a utility for one of these conjured weapons.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think they're actually the conjures they're on their own. They're really great. I mean, they do some good. They've got some good utility to them in what they do. But when for using like CCs, when you're being CC'd, if you don't have any stun breaks or anything with them, they do take up a utility slot which you just need. The utility slots, you're desperate for them as the alley because you don't have a lot of defense outside of active defense and your stun breaks and stuff. Which means that if you were sacrificing a slot to run one, that's more chance of you getting killed. It's already hard enough to survive when you've got such little HP and you don't have any access to things such as stealth and heaps and heaps of evades.
I mean, I guess we're trying to be a little vague because we're gonna go into way more detail in one of these Guild Wars 2 dailies about the conjured weapons. Don't want to give too much away. So there's like a band playing outside my house. I think we could wrap up the video here. I think we touched on everything we wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Yep. Like the dog barking in the background.
Yep. So I'm gonna finish this up with a drum line applauding me as for a job well done. So make sure you guys put a comment in the comment description below and tell us your opinions of the alley changes and what you think. I can't do it.
Just pretend the dogs are clapping noses. Dog's clapping. It's clapping with its mouth.
There's so much noise outside right now. Alright, make sure you guys comment below and tell us what you think about what we said or what you think about the changes.
It's
and
really cool.
make sure you
live
like and
outside
share
a
with your
noise
friends,
factory
guys.
or something. This is a factory that makes noise. It's only
It's bad. It's hard to do it, like to actually close this video because there's so much noise going on outside right now.
I'm keeping this in. This is part of the ending.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please like, favorite, subscribe. Tell us what you think about the Elementalist changes in themselves. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Later, guys.